Hello, CD Bestie. Aku Maggie Lindemann. Check out my interview with creativedisc.com, the #1 music website in Indonesia.
So, hello CD Bestie, welcome back to another Creative Disc exclusive interview. With me, Lutfi, and my guest today is female soloist who previously called Pretty Girl, but now transformed into a bad girl with some alt rock music and high speed music. After we interview her with Paranoid Face in last year, we want to talk about her sucker punch face on this interview. And I told you before, this is gonna be a different interview because she's now a different person with a different perspective. So please welcome once again, this is Maggie Lindemann.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too in Jakarta. You are in LA, right?
I am, yes.
How's LA right now?
LA is great. I'm actually about to leave in like an hour. I'm going to New York. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Like, what's you doing in LA? Like maybe visiting some friends or maybe else?
No, I live in LA.
Oh.
Yeah, I live in LA, but I'm just going to visit New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about your newest project. First, we talk about music and we talk another else, your hobby, your favorite things. Okay,
Perfect.
so let's talk about Sucker Punch. Tell me more about this project.
So I started working on this album literally a year ago. It's been a second that I've been sitting on it. So I started it right after I finished Paranoia. And I don't know, I was just getting hit with all these like unexpected punches and blows and all these like things that kept happening to me emotionally and mentally. And that's how I came up with the name Sucker Punch, because that's the definition of sucker punch, is an unexpected blow or punch. And I don't know, I just felt like it was the perfect name. And every song to me is a sucker punch. So it was perfect.
Ooh. So I think it's kind of like you say it that sucker punch is like you maybe punch on so many things on your life. Like what's the
Yeah.
catharsis, like what's the decision, like what's the biggest decision that I want to make this pain, this suffering into the song? Because channeling your pain and suffering, it's kind of like maybe sometimes it's kind of traumatizing, but sometimes it can be a
Mhm.
healing too.
For sure. I think for me, like music is super healing, and I like to write about things that are going on in my life, whether it's like traumatizing or happy. Like I like writing about stuff. I feel like for me, that's like my therapy. Like some people go to therapy, like writing music is my therapy. So without doing that, I think it would really affect me more and like bottle up and all that. So it's really easy for me to do that and like get it out. And I need to write to feel better.
So in this sucker punch, the things that I know that I heard so far, because the album didn't release yet until this interview when I interviewed this. So I want to talk like you mix like so many pop things. That's still kind of like pop things and heavier rock things. How can you balance a pop and rock things on your album? Because it's kind of like making a heavy pop sound. It's kind of like heavy too. It's not easy, I think.
Yeah. I think for me, like I just make stuff I think sounds good. So I used to make pop music. I make rock music now, pop punk. And I don't know, I think it's all about blending it and getting the right amount of blend also, because there's some songs on the album that are like way more pop, and then there's some songs that are way darker. So I think it's just like finding a way to make it all cohesive, and just make it cohesive and feel good.
So you collaborate with Kelly Quinn, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Tell me more about it. Tell me more how you first met.
And yeah, I'd followed him forever, and someone DM'd someone first. I honestly don't remember. I remember the first DM we DM'd about was actually about Pretty Girl. It was like a really long time ago. And he had said he liked the song, and
What?
I was like, what? Like, that's crazy. I'm such a big fan.
Wow.
And that's how we like had initially met. And
Wow.
I like fangirled so hard because I was like, dude, I've literally Sipping with Sirens has been my favorite band since middle school. And I just like freaked out. I remember exactly where I was and everything. I was backstage at a show. I was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out right now. And then so like fast forward a couple years, I wrote "How Could You Do This to Me," and immediately like after getting it back, I just heard him on the song. Like I was like, he will sound perfect on the song. He has to be on the song. Oh, sorry. So I like sent it to him, or I DM'd him and I was like, I have this song, I really want you to be on. And he was like, send it to me. And I emailed it to him and he was like, I love it. Like I would love to be on it. And he got on it and it was crazy.
Oh wow. I think it's like kind of like interesting and maybe like unexpected things that that he knows you from the Pretty Girl one. I think
Yeah.
it's a different face, you know.
No, completely different. I was very shocked, honestly, but I was like, oh, he has a daughter. Maybe it was his daughter, you know? So I don't know. But I was like, I don't know. I was like, maybe he liked it. I don't know. I don't really care how we found it. All I know is he was like, I like that song. And I was like, that's insane. That's insane.
Wow, wow. Okay, so this I like this your last interview your on your last interview, like you said that you transition yourself into a more pop punk singer into like rather than a pop one. And I think like I want to ask about the detail, the more the detail. How what's your decision turns you into a pop singer, into a pop punk singer? In the past you play like a pretty girl, but now you are like a bad girl. Yeah, you're like and you are more honest about your feeling. What's the decision behind it? What's the turning point?
I mean, I think for me, like just growing up and finding who I am and finding my own voice. And I got signed to a label really young. And I think when you get signed really young off of a song and not off of already, like I wasn't already this like formed artist. And for me, like I always just wanted to be a singer. I really wanted to do this. This was like what I wanted to do. And I just fell into the trap of like listening to what everyone else told me to do. So that's why I was like this really pop singer. Like I really never wanted from the beginning to make that kind of music, but I just really wanted to, I just wanted to be a singer. Like I love music. I love writing songs. Like that's just what I wanted to do. So for me, it was just like, okay, I'm down. Like I want to do it. So if y'all are telling me that's what I need to do, I'm gonna do it. But it got to the point where I just got older and I realized like I'm actually not really having as much fun as I feel like I should be having. And anytime I would try to write a song, I felt like it just didn't sound the way it was supposed to. And I don't know. I just was like, I don't like this. Like I want to make the music I want to make. I grew up on pop punk. My parents both like metal and alternative music. My brother's a huge metal fan. So it's like my whole family, it's like what I grew up on, and it never felt authentic to me. So
wow. It kind of shocked me because you know all your maybe like most of your all your family is a metal heads.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. Talking about like I think like you've gone through a lot. Like you've on the pop phase, you're on a pop punk phase. What's the difference when you are on a pop phase and right now you're on a pop punk phase? What's the difference from you personally when you see the world like in the pop way and in the pop punk way right now?
I think it's completely different worlds. I mean, when I made pop music, it felt so competitive. Like no one liked each other.
Oh,
like
really?
Obviously, I'm not saying no one actually liked each other. I'm saying it feels like everyone was just competing and no one liked each other, and it was like everyone it just felt like super competitive. And it didn't feel very open, like welcoming from anyone, not just like other artists. I mean like anyone at all. And I think with pop punk music and rock music and metal music, people are there's a lot of people that are gatekeeping and whatever, but I think that there's so many people that it's such a welcoming community. And all the other artists and all the other everything, like people are just so welcoming and people have been so sweet to me and the fans are nice. And I don't know, it just feels way more like a community, I guess. So yeah.
But what about like gatekeeping that's interesting because you are transforming yourself into a pop artist, into the rock artist, I think, into the rock artist, and maybe like some person maybe accuse you of being like an awkward or being like a bunch of weirdo, like when you turn yourself into pop and rock, it can be like very intimidating for you at the start because people like all eyes on you on the pretty girls, and right now she do this, like how you can cope with that.
Yeah, I think people just like at first people might have been like, I mean I still think now people are like, oh, it's like she's doing it because everyone else is doing it or whatever it is, but it's like I'm, it is what it is. Like I'm having fun, I love what I do, so it doesn't really bother me, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, not really, because like at the end of the day I know who I am, and like I was telling you, like my family raised me on all of that, and like I know, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, I'm like, I'm comfortable and I'm confident in like what I do. So
yeah, because maybe like on the pop world that you said it's super competitive things, and right now rock is like you are more welcome than ever. And I see like I like when I heard your material, you singing louder than ever and more honest than ever, I think, because it's what it is. Like you say, your song in Soccer Punch, it is what it is, but it is what it is. So maybe this is like two last question. The first one is what's next for Maggie Lindemann?
What's next is my album's about to drop, and I have a couple shows coming up. So that's what's literally next. But then I'm on to the next. I'm going to do another album and tour and do the whole thing.
Okay. So the very, very last question of this interview. You can you tell our audience in here watching this video, like how can you cope with many punching things in life, like pressure, like anxiety in your life? How can you cope with it? How can you push back?
Honestly, I think for me, like it's just about finding balance in everything. And when you feel like you're so low, I think for me, like I just need to remember that every time I felt really, really low, I've always come back up. There's always been a moment where I come back up and I feel better, and life gets amazing. And I think without those lows and those punches, we don't appreciate the highs as much. So it's important to be appreciative of everything, even those punches, because like for me, if I didn't have all those, I wouldn't have written an album. So I think like beautiful things come out of pain, and I think people just need to remember there's hope, I guess.
Okay, this is a heartwarming one coming from one of the loudest voice in one of the woman loudest voice in the pop punk scene right now. So thank you very much, Maggie, for this interview. It's such a heartwarming interview from you. I didn't expect like this is one of the rising name on pop punk scene, and you've got a heartwarming interview like this.
Thank you.
So once again, this is City Bestie, Maggie Lindemann. Thank you very much for this interview.
Of course. Thank you for having me.